Okay, it's another good day. I'm feeling so much better with the new drugs. Those old drugs are pretty much all the way out of my system. I definitely don't have the bad thoughts that I used to. I'm still a little bit agitated, but I don't know how much of that is actual drugs or how much that is just like from all that brain damage. And then possibly I got a little bit messed up from the drugs. So it might take a while to get past that. But the reason I'm making this video is I am building an insane pond and I'm literally down in it right now. Check it out. So what's cool is this water table where I'm at. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it or not, but I can't tell you enough about it. I just know what it is. There's different levels of soil, and there's about 2 to 3 inches, no, feet, I think is the right word. Like my arm right here, the top of my arm, maybe times 2 to 3 times, which I think is 3 inches, but what I think in my head and what I say out loud is definitely never the same. So I just don't really know what I'm actually talking about, but whatever, that's kind of irrelevant. So when you get down to a low level, there's, what are they called? I'll just have to show it to you. That stuff right there, which is like hard, you know, those are hard things. Rocks, those are rocks. So, and then maybe you can actually see a little bit. You can kind of see that over there's a really hard layer of rocks that's very, very thick. That's, I don't know, that's like 3 inches down. And then above that, oh, actually, never mind, because I already took off. So that, I'm not good enough with that stuff yet. But basically, if you look at that, you can kind of understand. There's a layer of very hard, compact stuff. Shoot, I forgot what that other stuff is called. It's very compact. Then there's a layer that's a little bit looser above that. Then there's a hard layer with bigger rocks, but it's more loose. Then there's just like hard soil. And on some of it, that soil is a different kind of soil. I can't tell you what it is. And then above that is another foot or foot and a half of, I guess I'd call it, I think maybe it's called like topsoil. I don't really understand what I'm talking about. So if this is wrong, you can leave it in the comments and let me know, because I'd definitely like to correct it. Man, look at the sky. That looks really cool. The sky looks really cool. It's an insane day because it's like, it's raining. Huh. Also, another weird thing is I look at the sky a lot more than I ever used to, and I see these weird things. Look at that. That thing in the sky right there looks like a tooth to me. It looks like a tooth. I don't know if I'm showing it. A tooth with like little things coming off the bottom of it. I normally see a lot of weird stuff. Whoa, that's a dog head. There's a dog face with a nose and a top. Sorry, that stuff distracts me really bad, really fast. But basically, I'm digging in this pond. It's really cool. I already dug this thing like quite a while ago. And I dug it literally with this tractor like this. And I had this backhoe thing. I can't remember if that's what it's called. And then my neighbor's tractor I borrowed. Thank you, Ed. Ed made all this possible because I tried to use this machine, but it was so, now that I'm down to hard stuff, this is not a big deal. Cause like, look, I'm literally driving down here on this and I'm not going to go anywhere. Even though that part over there still is like 2 or 3 feet deeper, if that sounds right. It's pretty deep still because when I used my neighbor's tractor, I went in at an angle the whole way down until the bottom. And I want to say it was 14 feet or something, but I'm really bad with math and with all that stuff now, which really sucks. But I think I have like muscle memory is the best way for me to say it. Is I'm remembering more stuff every day and more muscle memory. Oh yeah, I got this cool shirt too. It says, shoot, what does this say? I don't know what it says, but what it means is this is you, you're a dummy. This is me too. This is not in your head anymore. That's a brain, and you should put that back in there and use it. That's what that means. But so I have this weird thing. It's called muscle memory. So almost everything I think I can read or I can do or whatever is 100% muscle memory. So that really screws me up because I feel like I'm reading a tape measure. And because I used to, shoot, do you read a tape measure? I don't know, that's irrelevant. I think that's a new word for today. Because I used to build a lot of stuff, I use tape measures a lot. So now if I try to look at a tape measure, I can't trust what I see because I can't read it. So I keep telling people the wrong numbers, and it's almost screwed me up a couple times. And I pretty much just told anybody that works with me, and I'm just talking about like my family, because we're building a ramp and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to have, gosh, I forget that every time, radiology or some crap where they go zap, 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 zap in my head. to hopefully, like, you know, I don't know. It's going to be bad for me in the long run, I think, which I hate. And I wish there was a different option, but it's not something maybe that I'm going to have access to. And I have a meeting with a guy today to talk about all that stuff. And that's what I'm going to ask him about, a lot of those kind of things, because I don't know. I already have cancer. I already have pretty bad cancer. The last thing I want to do is add another potential cancer cause or fuel. Radiation, which is radiation. But, I mean, listen, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not making any decisions or giving anybody any advice. I'm just trying to tell you that, like, I want to have the best life possible for as long as possible. And if this radiation is going to screw me up, and what I mean is if I'm going to get down below where I'm at right now and I can't walk and all that kind of stuff, it's not worth it for me. Even if I only have 5 years or left, 5 years. Nah, I can't say it. But even if I have only 5 years left, I would rather be at this level now and getting better than be less than this level. Because if you watch some of my other videos, I look like an absolute moron. I mean, in my head, I thought what I was saying, the problem was more not in my head, it was more what I say, if that makes sense, because still the same problem I have now. I don't really know what I'm saying, if it's accurate to what I'm thinking, and that's the issue. Because when I say it, it doesn't sound like, I don't know what I'm actually saying out of my mouth. This is my mouth, I think. Out of my mouth? Is this my mouth? Yeah, my mouth. Not my ears. Oh, gosh, now I got canceled. I canceled my memory. Sorry, everything distracts me. But yeah, so basically I need to see if there's other options, because I know before this I read about some other options, but I'm so dumb I can't read. And then, like, I'm starting to understand more. I'm just trying to watch a ton of videos, like movies and also videos, but I'm watching videos or movies from the 90s though, because at least some of them have some relevance. And I think we can all agree that most movies probably made after, I don't even know when it is, but 2010 for sure is all full of bull crap, and it doesn't help you get smarter or learn anything or even like think about stuff that could be helpful. Whoa, this thing above me looks freaking whacked out. You probably won't see this in the video, but it's like a weird slug type creature with eyeballs, a face, and then a weird slug body. And why it reminds me of that is because I just watched Tremors. Do you know that movie? Tremors, where those tremor things are in the ground. And I watched, this should be good for me, actually. Let me tell you what I watched. I watched Rambo. That's a good movie. The first one. I watched Rambo. The second movie. That's a first one. Or, no, that's the second I just said. And I watched Rambo, the third one, which he's in a different place on the third one. To be honest, I can't really remember any of it, but I have watched it all before. So I kind of like, I get the point of it. And it is kind of cool to watch. And I watched Sniper, the old one. I don't know how else to say it other than that, but it's the 90s version or whatever. And I think I probably watched a couple other ones, but I can't remember them. And right now I'm kind of watching a weird, scary one that I don't think I've ever watched in my life. But these are all free movies on YouTube. That's why I'm watching them. And that's probably what I'll do is try to watch all those. And I really don't remember much from them. But the reason I'm trying to watch them is to try to like jar things back in my brain and get me to remember stuff. And also I have to just talk to people, man, because I went to a party. Is it a party? A party when somebody turns older, and some of the people that were there were talking to me about things in my history, and when they said it, I would remember it. Does that make sense? So that is, did I say remember it? It was a memory. So it's a memory in my head that I don't have because it's gone. I have a link to it, let's say, but the link is broken. When somebody tells me what it is, that link is like semi-restored, and then I think about it, and then I talk about it, and then all of a sudden I remember some of it. Not all of it, but only stuff directly related to what they say. So it's really weird. I think that, like, I probably will never get back all my, is it my thinking? No, my memory. Because of the fact that I don't know what was stored in that section of brain that they sucked out. And if there was memories in that, obviously, like, I just don't know how it works, then those are gone forever. Which it seems like everything is fine because, I don't know. I have no idea on that. I'm starting to get really sidetracked. But yeah, so I'm digging this pond. It's really cool. There's ground, there's water, all this kind of stuff. It's starting to rain though, and I don't know, like I remembered a ton of rain in Oregon a couple years ago, and I want to say that was, I don't know the month that it is, but this is a month where it's still hot. The month after this, like halfway through the month, it rained tons and tons and tons. I think like 4 feet or something insane like that. If that happens, then this is toast until next year, which is all right because I've already made it like, I don't know, probably 4 times the size it was. And I'm actually building an island. So I'm going to build this little island right here. Pretty cool island. I'm going to put like a fire pit on it. I'm going to go get some free wood, free government wood from the forest. And if you live by a place where you can get free wood like that, you should do it because I'm pretty sure that most places offer that. I mean, I don't know about anywhere else except for Oregon, but we have a lot of forests up here. They cut all the trees down. Sometimes they stack them up or they leave them on the road, and you can go there and cut them and load them and whatever. But because I have a trailer, I'm just going to cut them to whatever the size of that trailer is, 14 feet, and get planks and then bring all those planks here and build like a log cabin out of it. And literally I can build it for free out of that material. And all it'll cost is whatever it costs to transport it and then my own labor. And I literally got nothing I can do in my life anymore. So that's the stuff I'm doing. And that's why I'm building all this crap all the time. So I'm kind of going hardcore on all the stuff I was going to do in maybe like 10 or 20 years when I retire. Now I'm doing it right now, which is kind of cool because I'm still like, my body is still strong. And so that's not a problem. And I don't have to be very smart to do this kind of stuff. That's a good thing. That's the real good thing. That's another reason I think that we underappreciate American workers that do stupid things. That's how we look at it. Stupid stuff. You know, all these people that are building, like using tractors, building roads, farmers, all those people. I think a lot of people look at them as like they're just stupid. But the reality is without any of that, what do you even have? You ain't driving on no roads. You ain't driving any cars. You're not freaking getting heat in your house. You're not getting houses built. You're not freaking getting food to eat. You know what I mean? You don't have people working at the store, putting the food on the tables. Not tables, but I think you understand what I mean. I mean, man, we underappreciate those people. And everybody wants to be, obviously, a YouTuber. Everybody wants to be a gamer. Everybody wants to be never working in their life. But the reality is we have to have people like that. And I think we should appreciate them more because they build a huge part of our economy. And we don't appreciate them. And if they're gone and that's happening, then what do you do? Why do you think it's getting more expensive to get food? Because farmers disappear and they don't get replaced, and on and on and on. Everything's like that. So obviously there's a part that has to do with the economy. And we also continually, well, we don't, but anybody watching this video that continually votes for these moron Democrats, you definitely are destroying the economy and you're making everything more expensive. So you cry like a baby about eggs and all this kind of stuff. I just remembered this. I remember watching a couple of videos where people were complaining about the price of eggs that were going through the roof when Trump took office. And they were saying like, oh, you can't fix the eggs. And then within like a month or two or whatever, the egg price went down and that all disappeared. That's how you got to realize that those people are full of butthole. Do you know what I'm saying? Literal butthole. They don't know what they're talking about, how to fix anything. They're just full of garbage. All they want to do is argue and fight because that's how they make money. And they don't even know anything. And most of them probably live in situations where they never have had to work. I worked my whole life, man. Outside in 100-degree weather, doing roofing, building houses, concrete, you name it, man. And I did most of it myself. And then I got smart enough. I built a company and I still did almost all of it myself, outside myself. I had to hire what I had to, the trades, you know, for electrical and plumbing and I don't know, any kind of finish work that had to be done beyond my skill set. But other than that, I did everything else myself. And, you know, I made pretty good money, I would say, but it also was hard. It was very, very hard work. And I worked very long hours. And by the end of the year, I was kind of like a farmer where I always broke even, which so I guess I didn't really make any money. But still, while I was doing that stuff, I felt good and I was proud about my work, about what I did. But I think a lot of other people I felt like looked down on me, but they didn't realize that without people like me, they would not have houses. And then what are you going to do? Live in your car? Well, now you got to worry about the guy that fixes your car. Now he decides he doesn't want to deal with it anymore. Same situation. Now you don't got a car either. It doesn't drive anywhere. Now what do? Now we don't even need any paper pushers. because there's no point. You know what I mean? We all going to be outside hunting, catching rabbits, building holes to store water and whatever, and everybody else with zero skills. And if you do anything related to anything with technology, if the technology shuts off, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's a zero skill. It's important right now because you can make that money, but make sure you store it, learn some skills, because otherwise you're going to be stuck in a situation where you have zero skills and you have to rely on everybody else. And I'm going to add one more thing that I just thought about to this video. Some of this stuff is like so rambly, and I hope to make more direct videos, but every time I think about this kind of stuff, I have to just add it to a video because otherwise I'll forget. And I already thought about this and then I didn't forget. I did forget. I don't know, how that goes. But, you know, I was watching some video and they were talking about how women, like for years, women were upset and they were saying that men were like the bane of existence. Basically, they're all worthless. They're horrible creatures and they should all die. Now they're all like, oh man, we can't find a good man, and on and on and on. And it's really funny because there's always those extremes. And I think that there's always been both sides, right? There's always been good women out there. You just have to look harder, and you can't be on the internet, and you can't go after those troll women that are out there. And all the guys are trying to go after the same stupid troll women, right? So just stop that. And that'll get rid of all those things, but probably won't ever go away because you're always going to have guys that are stupid because that's normal. Look for a good woman. That's the main thing. And then the other thing is too is the more advanced technology gets, and I'm talking about like weird stuff now. Imagine robots and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry to tell you, women, but it ain't going to be men that are irrelevant at that point. It's going to be women. And you know why? Because most guys could care less about probably having kids and going through all that drama and whatever else, especially if they could have a robot that does whatever they want, cleans, cooks, blah, 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 works nonstop, is sitting by the door without any drama, any problems, like perfect situation. This will definitely have to be a different video because this is crazy when I actually think about this in depth. And it's probably expanding my brain in a direction it shouldn't go, but this is just the reality of life now. So if you don't need a physical woman anymore, it takes care of that. And then guess what? Obviously, you need eggs, right? So if they figure out how to make female eggs, or you just keep the good women that have nice eggs, and then instead of impregnating them, you can take their eggs, figure out a way to clone them, and then men can have their own sperm impregnate those eggs, and then that way they're making their new generations go on or whatever. And also you'd probably only keep the boys at that point. Gosh, man, this is turning into a really gruesome video. But it's literally the opposite of all the girls on the internet that scream about the same thing and say the same thing, because most of those girls will never pick up anything that does anything related to work. So they're irrelevant, just like all the guys that are irrelevant that are freaking manicuring their hands and all that kind of stuff. If we ever get to a point where the world is over, all of those people are gone. That's the reality, because they're pointless. And the more people that realize that, the less of those kind of people we'll have. And I think that'll make the world a much better place, because we just don't need irrelevant people that do nothing but that's a new word, sow divisiveness. That's what we don't need. We need normal, good people. I heard another one too. And if you know who said this, you'll probably know the video that I watched. We need to focus on people that go to Walmart, people that go to Home Depot. Normal people, that's what I'm saying. Everyday Americans, those are the ones we should listen to. Not the crazies all the way on the top, not the crazies all the way on the bottom, the people that are in the middle. Those are the ones we should be focused on. And if you're in the middle, just like me and just like most of those people that shop at those stores, you should be voting for people only that help you. Because the reality is they don't have money to help me with the drugs I need. You know why? Because they spent them on illegal aliens from all over South America. Do you know what I'm saying? They spent it on all types of bums where they were giving drugs. Well, maybe not actual drugs, but they wasted it technically on, how can I say this? I don't know the right way to say this yet, but I'm going to make a video about this too. They literally, this is the dumbest scam I've ever heard of in my life, and everybody involved in it should go to jail, 100%. The government, they're too lazy to get off their butt, all right? So they give $1 million, let's say, to a private company who's a nonprofit. That nonprofit takes 70% of the money or whatever they have to be at, because I'm sure there's a threshold. And if they meet that threshold, the government can give them money. So one person, all right, this is how simple it is. So I'll use myself as an example just so that we get it, because this is how it works. And if I screw all this up, I'm not smart enough to do it yet, and I will soon be. So let's say the government gives me $1 million and I'm a nonprofit called Ligma 27. So Ligma 27 gets $1 million. I meet the threshold, which is probably something like 40%, or 30% goes out, let's say. So I'm one person and I keep 30%, right? And this math could be totally off. I don't know. So that means I get $300,000, let's say, right? I just put it in my pocket and then I let it sit there for years and years and years, and I never do anything with it, but it pays my bills for the next 10 years, let's say. And then I keep doing that like 12 times. So literally, I'm taking tons and tons of money directly from you, the taxpayers, and I'm lining my pocket and getting rich, and I'm feeling great about it, and I'm going to events and all this kind of crap. Nobody even really knows who I am, but I'm just some dumb schmuck doing whatever I want to. And then because I'm lazy, just like the government, you think I'm going to go out there and hand needles and freaking stuff out to all those guys that are and girls that are out on the street and just need help? No. I'm going to hire another guy who also owns a nonprofit. The other not 30,000, 30%. I don't know if all that lines up, but I hope I'm tracking. It's tracking in my mind. I just don't know if I'm saying it right. So that money I give to them, and then they do the same thing, and it's just like a trickle effect because they're lazy. Also, it like goes down 3 levels. So by the time the government money of $1 million makes it to the streets to actually help somebody, it's like $10,000. All right, that is how that system works. And it's like every scammer that has ever existed. That's how they do things. And I think anybody involved in anything even close to that should all go to jail. That's the way you stop it. And we need to make a change for that right now. And I don't know what it needs to be. But if there's any way to scam the system like that, it needs to be 99% to the system out helping the people doing the thing. And that should be a requirement of every single, now I forgot the word for it, but those people that have groups like that so they don't have to pay taxes. But there's no reason why it should be bigger than that. We don't need, it would be way better to have like 50 different, there's probably a lot more, but a whole bunch of single person organizations out there that just go out on the street and do the actual work than to have a massive corporation that has to buy a building and hire a bunch of people and janitors and blah, 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 blah. Because that's not going out to the people. That's building a company and an organization. And I think the more people that learn about these basic things are going to get upset and stop voting for those morons. Because you already know that people are learning about things that are happening in different towns, cities, whatever, and they still vote like retards. Why? It's because they're just so brain dead. I mean, they don't know what they're talking about. They're also, I think we should also change some other stuff related to, and this is the last thing I'm going to say because I have such a problem. I can't stop talking. It's insane. I need to make separate videos on this, but the other thing too is we need to change our media system. And I think that if you want to just speak random garbage, then you can't call yourself a, like media. Does that make sense? Like, I can't say what it's called, but you need to make sure that there's a disclaimer that says it's your opinion, it's their opinion, it's not based in facts, any of those kind of things, because you can't keep saying lies, say that they're lies, and then corrupt people because they're stupid. That's you trying to control them. It's the same thing that the Nazis did and all those other kind of people. And unfortunately, we're never going to get out of a place where we don't have dumb people. It's just how it is, man. I mean, I watched a video the other day where somebody they weren't even washing their hands. They're taking a dump. They didn't even wash their hands for like years and years and years because their parents did. What kind of a moron does that, man? If you use a toilet, wipe your butt, either with toilet paper or in a different country in a different way, but clean your butt sack. Nobody wants to smell that, bro. It's gross. And then that person was wiping their hands, getting poop on it, then not washing their hands, and then they were getting other people infected. Come on, bro. How do you not know in 2025 or whatever year this is that you clean your butt and then you clean your hands afterwards? For the love of God, bro, where do we live, man? This is stupid. If we got people like that, we got a problem. And you know what? A lot of it stems from just idiots And that obviously stems from moms and dads who don't want to do anything with their families. They just want to make babies. And it also stems from a horrible, horrible system that we have. Well, we have that in healthcare too. That's the first thought that came to my head, but that's because it affects me. But in teaching, the money doesn't go to the teachers. The money goes to the profit pushers and all the people that do nothing. The people that talk, the people that push paper, all those people are worthless in that whole system. That's government bureaucracy, okay? That doesn't help students at all. They don't see that money. It takes away from them. And probably the other thing that falls into that, which I'd have to do a lot more research on, is any kind of massive company related to that controls what the teachers do, maybe teachers' unions. If they get money directly, if you have to go into a union and everything else related to that, I think all that money should go directly to the teachers. Why would you not pay the teachers the most money possible? And the same thing with all of those higher end people that we need. That's who should be getting all the money. It's so brain dead simple. Like we developed a system where we give the dumbest people the most amount of money to do nothing all the time. So right now the system works where we pay all the paper pushers the most in all the governments. We make all the biggest, nicest buildings for the government buildings everywhere you go. We waste all the money doing dumb, stupid crap that we don't need to do, paying all that money to nonprofits, doing all that stuff that is so unimportant. And the reality is it's been that way for so long. Look at where we're at. There's a reason we're at where we're at. That's because that's the system we've been using. So wake up and use your brain, and let's try something different. You know what that is? Firefighters. I can't say this word yet. I don't want to say what I can think in my head. Shoot, I can't say it. I'll have to move on. Maybe I can think of it at the end. Gosh, those people that help you when you call them. Rescue 911. I can't think of who they are, but all those people in that system yet. I haven't had to deal with any of them since this surgery, so I can't remember those things. But everybody that helps us stay safe, so firefighters, police, and stuff related to that, we need to give them a ton of training. We need to make sure the people that we hire in the police system are strong, capable people, but also not jackasses, because those kind of people that just want to hurt people, they should all go into the military, because we should have the strongest possible military with the most badass people in there that just want to kick the crap out of anybody that want to fight us. That's where those kind of people should go. Not into the systems where they're going to do that on us civilians, because we don't need that. We need nice people that can help us. We don't need them doing a lot of stuff they do now. We need nice people that want to help us. That's it. We don't need people doing a bunch of crap that they don't, controlling how we work and what we can do and all that. Let people do what they want, man. And you know what? If it gets to a situation where it's too bad and it's affecting other people, that's when the police should step in. But before that, butt out. Why? Just butt out. I don't know how many I said now. Firefighters, police, teachers, healthcare, maybe like roads. There's probably stuff that I'm forgetting because I'm just not smart enough to think about those things, but that should be the top priority. So you know what happens right now? All these idiot Democrats, they cut all those most important systems, the 5 most important systems, and they keep the money for themselves. Does that make sense? No. Those are called schmucks. Those are called frickin' scammers. Those are called people that don't care about you. Stop voting for them. It's like so brain dead simple. It's the reality of life. You voted for the same people. This is how you can look at it. If you live in a Democratic city, you're probably dumb. That's for sure. Especially if you keep voting that way. But like in Oregon, up in right near me, Seattle's not what I'm thinking of. Portland, that exact situation, man. And even I can't think of the other one, but when all those bombs were everywhere and they wasted millions and probably billions of tax dollars just wasting them, and they were lining all their friends' pockets, everybody involved in that should go to jail. They should never be able to do anything related to government again. That is how you solve that problem. You have to get rid of that kind of stuff. Corruption, all that. And I'm talking every single level. And I don't mean like waste a bunch of time, going back in time, crying about all the spent milk that you guys already voted for. I'm talking about you start now. You just forget about all those people that did it, but you start right now and you make it that way, because then it gets fixed for the future. And you don't have to go through all these retarded public systems, all this stuff that takes forever, except for if they fight you. Yeah. If they're going to fight you, put them all in jail. Just do it. Go lock them all up, put them in jail, let them sit there. As soon as people on TV see that they're getting locked up and put in jail, guess what will happen? They will lose credibility. So people start looking into it. People will see that they've been ripping us off the whole time. And then maybe we'll all make better decisions. And this is all going to have to be separate videos because I really have to get back to work. And I think I'm sinking in this pond a little bit. And it's also starting to rain. You can kind of see that up there, kind of freaky. So I guess that's it. If you watched till the end, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share this video. I'm going to be making a lot because this is probably my life now. It's about all I can do is talk. And it probably won't make a lot of sense. The reality is the reality. And this is the reality I live in now. See ya.